friends, I'm Allie, and today I'm filming a video. Seems pretty obvious, I guess. It's just been a minute or two since I have. Yeah, I don't know, time just gets away from you, and I haven't filmed in a long time, but I was kind of missing it lately, so I wanted to sit down and share some stuff and catch you up on my life. Not that my life is that exciting. Actually, I usually have more time to sit down and film a video when I'm between projects, so it doesn't feel like there's a lot going on right now, even though there is. It's just theater life and artist life is interesting. Being a freelancer, you're kind of always ebbing and flowing between things. Sometimes you're super busy and have a million projects going on all at once, which is great, but sometimes overwhelming, and then sometimes you're between things and can take a little bit of a breather, but if you're like me, you get stir crazy after a while. So yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to kind of sit down and say hello. Since y'all saw me last, I have still been acting and teaching. I've been teaching a lot in drama clubs and summer camps, theater camps, things like that. This year, about almost a year ago now, I was in a production of Sister Act. That was just really great. I got to play Sister Mary Patrick. She was just a super fun character to play. Probably the most, I guess, relevant and recent thing, the big thing that I've done, is I started a graduate certificate in new play performance. This program is summers only. It's in Hollins University in Roanoke, Virginia. So I just spent this past summer there, but I'll have 2 summers total, so I'll be there again next summer as well. Basically what it is it's structured within this MFA program in playwriting. Now, I'm not doing the MFA. What I'm doing is a certificate. It's not a degree-seeking program, but I am taking graduate level classes specifically with an emphasis on new play performance. So I'm taking kind of this acting track within this new works development program. There's also a similar certificate for directing. It's fairly new. The MFA program itself, the playwriting program, has been there at Hollins for some years now, but these 2 certificates are fairly new within the past, I think, 4 or 5 years. I'll have to look it up to be sure, but it's fairly new. I'm studying scene study and kind of your standard performance type classes that you would think of. I took a class a little more non-traditional, like we did clown, commedia dell'arte, some mask work, melodrama, things that you might not think of as like your standard acting styles, but they could be applied when developing new works. I took a class all about kind of the business of being a working actor. A lot of great audition techniques and tips, because when you're an actor, auditioning really is the job, pretty much. That's how you get work. This program also did a 24-hour play festival in the middle of the summer, and we did a play reading festival at the end where we produced 8 readings of brand new works, and I got to act in a couple of those. So I could certainly talk more about my experience at Hollins so far if that's something that people are interested in learning more about, or just leave a comment or shoot me a message or something. I'm happy to talk more about it. So that's probably the biggest thing I've been up to lately, and like I said, I have 1 more summer of that next year, but just got to meet some really awesome people, and it was a really great, rewarding time. Coming up next, I am still based in Florida. This program was in Virginia, but I am based in Florida. I'm continuing to audition for things all the time. I know for sure that there is a performance-based project I have coming up early next year that I'm not talking about too much yet, but I'll be sharing more as we get closer. I'm teaching this fall as well. Some people may or may not remember that for the past couple of years, I've worked on a school tour production. It's a youth play that travels to elementary schools all throughout our area here in Florida. I've performed and been the stage manager, the tour manager for that for 2 years now. This year I'm actually really excited to be the costume designer. I did a lot of costume design in college and in high school, but I haven't had the chance to costume design much since I've graduated, so it's been a few years and I'm excited to kind of step back in the saddle or the sewing machine chair. I don't know. I'm really grateful to have the chance to costume design the tour this year. It's kind of cool to work in this new capacity with a program that I already am really passionate about and that I like a lot. Another thing since you've seen me last is I got my septum pierced. I'm not wearing it right now because, well, I don't know, sometimes I just don't, but I have the retainer in right now. I got my septum pierced a few months ago. That was a party. It actually, healing-wise, it healed really quick. People ask if it hurt. The actual moment of the piercing did hurt quite a bit. It's healed faster than any other piercing I've had before. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I wear it. I'm just not right now, but that's a thing. And I guess the other biggest, most exciting thing for me personally, because hello. A couple weeks ago, I went to my 5th Pentatonix concert. Like I said, this was my 5th show. I've done the VIP thing 3 times. I have to think, because there was a time I was going to and then I didn't get to because reasons, but this was the first time I've done the like private performance VIP package. They have a couple different levels or like tiers of VIP. Some of them you get to go to just their sound checks. Sometimes you do that and you do a meet and greet where you take a group picture and get an autograph, and then there's one where you do all those things plus you go backstage and there's a private performance and you get to take a selfie with each of the 5 of them individually. And I had never done that before, but I got to this time and it was pretty cool. I don't know how curious people are about how that VIP thing works. I thought it was kind of interesting. And like I had looked up videos of other people talking about it before. This time was different in that the private performance section was first, like before their sound check, before all the rest of it. They take you backstage. It was probably like 14, 15 or so people, not a whole lot. Their whole tour this summer is an amphitheater, so like everything is outside. They bring you to a tent. They have the chairs set up, and then the band comes out. They sang Take Me Home from the Pentatonix album, the album titled Pentatonix, and I like literally, I didn't actually cry. There were definitely people around me crying, and I felt that way, but I just wasn't like actively crying. I've always been so thrilled with like when seeing them live. You know, with acapella, you think it's gonna be different somehow when you like hear them live, that like surely when they're recorded, I don't know, like something must have happened in the process to make them sound so together, but like it can't be that way live, of course, but like it is. And I felt that when I've just been to the concerts, but having them be so close to me, like I'm saying, like there were maybe like 15 people there, and they sang Take Me Home, which is a much smaller, more intimate song. It's the 5 of them singing. There aren't like special beatboxing, like whatever, like it's just the 5 of them singing straight through, and it's just so cool, and they sound so great, and I don't know, I could gush about it for longer, but I'm gonna stop. After that, they take the people who were in the private performance. Oh no, I skipped a part, the selfies. After they sing, you get to take the selfies, and I was like, literally my hand was shaking. Like I could not control my hand, so I had my phone, and Scott was the first one. He kind of walked up to me, I guess, and he just took my phone, I guess, instinctually, because I saw that a lot of times they take the selfies themselves, which is probably just as well, because like my hand, it was bad. And it was so hot, and I'm telling you, like it was outside, and it was Florida, and I was like sweating my entire face off before they even walked out to like sing in the first place, and I had like tissues in my bag. I was like wiping off my face because I knew like I was about to take a picture and it was gonna be really gross. And I said something, like Scott kind of came up, and I was like, this is gonna be a really cute picture because I'm super sweaty, and he was like, me too, girl, and I like died. I think Kirsty was next. I kind of walked around, and there wasn't really a structure to it. Like everyone was just kind of mingling, but there were only 5 of them and however many of us, so like there were times where people like had to wait off to the side for their turn, which like that was awkward because I didn't want it to feel like I was interrupting someone else's moment or whatever. There was a girl in front of me taking her picture with Kirsten. She was like really emotional. I got to like see her interaction, and Kirsty kind of like comforted her, and it was really cute. And then I told her that I was like really excited that she got to be in Kinky Boots this year, and how I knew that theater and Broadway were things that she was interested in pursuing, and that she got the chance to do that this year was really cool. So we like talked about that for like a half a second. I think Matt was next, which was also really cool because I hadn't met him before. The others I had at least met in like the group photo setting, and he was really sweet, really cool. They had just been to Disney World the day before. They were in West Palm, and then they had a day off, and then they were in Tampa, so they went to Disney World in between. Talked to him about like his picture at Disney or something. Then I think Mitch was next. Anyway, the order doesn't really matter, but I'm pretty sure it was Mitch. And that one was the only one that I took myself, which was probably a poor choice because literally my hand was shaking. And that picture I feel like is the worst quality of all of them because it's like not the most in focus. I had the same face in every picture because I like could not control my expression, and all my pictures were just like, it was bad. I mean, it was great. So that picture was probably the roughest, and also I just like could not control myself. I was like holding it, and instead of hitting the button to take a picture, I hit the forward facing camera button, so like the camera switched, and I was just like, haha, my hand's shaking, sorry. Kevin was next, and I just love him so much. It's fine. And I have nothing to say about Kevin because he's the best. So then after everyone takes their pictures, the band goes backstage somewhere, I don't know. The whole group, plus like not just the private performance people, but all of the VIP people go into the venue and get ready for the sound check. The sound check one cracks me up because maybe it's the theater nerd in me, I don't know, who like, I always want to see their legit sound check, like see them checking levels, see testing the mics, like I want like the inside whatever, and like that's not really what it is. I mean, it's still obviously very cool to be back there. Really, by the time they let the people in and they do like their sound check, they're pretty much done with all that stuff. They do like one song to like, I guess they're still sort of checking levels, I don't know, but it's basically a performance more than anything, which obviously is still very cool. Like, I'm excited about it, but I'm like that nerd who wants to see their sound check. This time they sang Video Killed the Radio Star, which was very exciting because that one was my favorite of all of their sing-off performances. And there was a Q&A, and I didn't actually ask any questions at the Q&A. I think I had the year before, whatever the last time was that I did it. But this time I didn't because, I mean, I don't know, I had literally just taken selfies with all of the 5 of them, and I wanted people who didn't have that particular experience to get the chance to have some sort of interaction. My favorite question was someone asked what's the craziest thing on each of their riders. The rider is part of a contract that performers have when they play in a particular venue. I mean, it outlines a lot of things, but in particular what things are in their dressing rooms when they arrive. So a lot of times it'll be like food or certain things that the performers want to be in their dressing room at each location they go to. They were saying nothing too crazy, like certain foods or whatever. I think Kirsty always asks for like a fruit and veggie tray. Matt was saying how like he had never had to have a rider before. I think not until he went on the Christmas tour with them. So he, you know, was gonna go crazy and buy all the junk food and whatever, but this time he just did. I think it's Oreos. They said he had like a bunch of Oreos in his room at every place he goes. So that was kind of funny. Then they brought the group who got the meet and greet package, which is like the middle tier package, back into that same tent where the private performance was, but the chairs are all cleared out by now. And they have the photo background that they take the group picture with. And there's like a long line wrapping around to do the group picture. And then when you're done with your picture, you're supposed to get back in the same line and wait your turn again for the autograph. So in between the two, they like transition from going from the background to the table with the autographs. So it was my third of that. I'm trying to get each time, like I think I want to stand in a different place because the 5 of them always stand in the same order. I want to try to get between each of them at some point. Well, also like Kevin's my favorite, and I had never stood next to Kevin in the picture before, so when it was my turn I like said hey to everyone briefly. You don't have a lot of time at that part, so you don't talk too much. I said hey, and then I asked Kevin, I was like, am I allowed to hug you or is that against the rules? Because like not the band themselves, but I guess like the VIP organizers have kind of specific outlines about like you can't ask them to do a pose where they'd be like kneeling or on the ground. There's certain things that you can't do. So I was like, am I allowed to give you a hug? And he was like, absolutely. And he just opened up his arms and I like wept internally. Like it was, and you can see it on my face. I'm like cheesing so hard. Oh, it's great. He's a great hugger too, not that that matters, but he is. I get back in line and do the autograph. Oh, I didn't even say. So before they even took us back to the private performance, for any of the tiers, is that you get to buy the merch before everybody else, which is really great, by the way, because like merch crowds can be a pain in the butt. So I bought a poster before that even started. So then for the autograph part, I had them sign the poster. And since I had gotten autographs before this time, a good friend of mine who also is a big fan of Pentatonix had to work the day of the concert, so she couldn't go. And I asked them if they could like make out the poster to her. She was very excited and very surprised when I gave it to her, so it was a very sweet moment. I mean, I would have freaked out if someone had done that for me too. I gave them each a note that I had written because I'm that goober. Although really, like in the grand scheme of things, like a note is nice, but I know that they get some really elaborate like gifts and art sometimes. And I didn't do anything quite like that, although I have made them art before. But this time I just wrote a note for each of the 5 of them, so I got to give them that while they're signing. And yeah, and then that's it. The guard, like the security guy for the venue at the door, I like leave and I like kind of breathe a sigh of relief, and he's like, feel better? And I'm like, not really. Because really what I wanted was to stay in there, but it's okay. The concert itself was great. I can certainly talk more about that if people have questions, just because this video is getting long and I don't want to ramble forever. So I'm gonna try to wrap it up, but my favorite song that they did was Natural Disaster was back on the set list this year, which they hadn't done since 2014, I don't think, live. Knowing that it was on their set list again was exciting, but what I didn't know, and I probably could have if I was paying more attention to like Twitter, I don't know, because fandoms are a thing. I didn't know that they were gonna mash it up with Cracked. It was a really cool mashup the way that they merged those two pieces together. So that was my favorite. And the last thing I'll say about it was just that it was the first time I had seen Matt. Why am I burping? It was the first time I had seen Matt. Obviously the last concert I went to was the last summer tour that Avi was a part of. The whole thing is so bittersweet for me because I love Avi a lot, and I was prepared to like not be thrilled with Matt. Not that I like didn't want him to do well, but he has big shoes to fill. But Matt is actually wonderful, and he's a really great performer. And listening to him on the new tracks was really cool, but it like stabbed me in the gut whenever they did one of the older songs and there was like an Avi solo, and of course Matt was singing it, but like it hurt my heart a little bit, even though he's wonderful. Favorite Matt moment was the second song they did was Finesse, which is off of their current album, but when they covered it on the album, they didn't do the Cardi rap section of Finesse, but they did live, and Matt sang that part, and it was pretty cool. I wasn't expecting them to sing that part of the song, but it was a lot of fun. Okay, that's all. Like I said, like I could legit talk about them for forever, but I'm not going to. At least not today. That's some stuff about my life, and this basically turned into a Pentatonix video, but what else is new? I've been saying it for forever, but I really am going to film a video about my audition book and the musical cuts that I keep in there at all times, maybe even talk about the monologues I keep in there too. I've been saying I'm gonna make it since literally I think the first video that I made. Be on the lookout for that shortly. I'm not gonna guarantee how often I'm gonna put videos up because life is a thing, and I used to say once a week, but I know myself and that's probably not going to be the case. But yeah, I'm gonna start certainly posting more often than I have been. So that's all. Also, look at my phone screen right now. Okay, it's fine. Wait. Okay, we're done. That's all. If there's other things you want to hear me talk about, let me know. I don't know. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again shortly. Bye.